Everybody review the minutes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any problems?
I didn't. Tom?
Tom?
Yeah, all set.
All set. Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes is written.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Are we giving them their money back?
I can't answer that one.
114?
Yeah, well, one of them's got a note on from Tricia that she was actually supposed to call them, but both the 215 that we're getting rid of. What? 53.
What do we have to do with the generator, Wayne?
There's a circuit board in it that was gone bad, so they had to replace the circuit board.
This one here or the one at the
No, I
end?
think it was the Manley Street one.
Really? That's the first time we've had problems up there, isn't it?
Yeah, other than I changed generator people because the guy serviced it, and a month later the building next door was calling saying, would you please shut off your alarm? I'm like, what alarm? The no oil light alarm went off on it. I'm like, you just serviced the thing, how can I be out of oil, buddy? So that was it for him.
Was it out of order?
Yeah, it was low.
Really?
Yeah. So it shut itself down and went into alarm.
That's a problem.
Yeah, not anymore because I don't use them anymore.
I mean, that seems like it's got only a couple hours on it probably. It shouldn't burn any of it.
Yeah, I switched over to FM generator. That's what I do use now.
South Shore?
How low was it?
Yeah.
Must have been really low to shut it down.
Yeah. Enough that the thing triggered, so.
So why did...
I don't know whether he did an oil change, but even that, if it went into the filter, it shouldn't have been as low as it was to get there.
Right.
And we keep
It
an
wouldn't
eye
take
on it.
that
It's
much.
never lost oil before. Now, so.
Shane Chemical, what do we buy from them?
We buy polyorthophosphate.
Okay.
Got a big bill.
And Roberts?
Probably chlorine or salt.
Okay. Hey, Carrie. We already voted to approve the minutes in there, right there.
And they voted you to be the presenter at the town meeting.
Perfect. Who took the vote for the meeting minutes? You made a motion.
I motioned
I made a
and
motion,
Tom
I'll second it.
seconded.
Thank you.
Tom.
When you're done with those, you can put them in there, I guess. What was that refund for the guy? Was it $114?
So that was his real estate, out of his real estate taxes, so he put it towards the water. He sent it into the water company, so that's how it's
Oh,
the third party thing that we use.
that's not a very big commitment, is it?
Also winter,
Huh?
it's the winter though too.
What do we usually bring in?
It's actually up from last year. I don't
Is
know
it?
It was
if
still a low one, so it was what, at 4 something?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
$3.95.
Yep, so usually like around 425 would be a good one.
right.
And I've been warning you that usage is down and so is our revenue. And tracking the usage, it's way low too. It's,
Is it?
yep,
Oh, yeah, because of all the rain.
Terry, that package with the 114.70, what's the one in the back? There's a whole bunch of stuff for a different customer?
Yeah, it should be there.
Oh, okay, it's just,
Yep. I was just trying to hurry today to get it all together.
those. Why are we abating those other two?
Finance and demand charges,
Yeah.
they didn't get their bill last time.
So they get one shot?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
all right. That one you just signed, right?
Yes. This one has one right behind it too, and that's the tax man, I think. Yes. These guys sign it too.
Can you just sign the second page on that one?
Oh, I missed it.
Just on the refund.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tom.
You might as well come up here, front and center, and get set up. You're gonna be next on the agenda. First thing we want to talk about, I guess, is a replacement wall.
we crossed Roscoe, it's all right.
You want to bring coffee with it? Actually, we're gonna take them in any order that you want to give them to us. We got replacement wall you want to discuss, new water source, the altitude valve, Western River Street crossing bridge.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you? Okay.
Can I go back one? This is the final report for the alternative well sites,
Okay.
based on your comments. That's not-
The comments from our last meeting.
So we, on figure 3.3, we discussed adding the Mass DEP 21E sites. So they've been added to this figure. There's 3 open sites, which is kind of the light blue circles with tags on them. The smaller dark blue circles are closed sites. So we hadn't dug into the details of these, if any of these.
What happened there at the Shell station? I saw them replacing the tank.
Yeah, they're gonna eventually, they just haven't done it, they're gonna rip down the entire building.
Redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
But,
Did they ever leak?
but that's a hazardous,
No.
that's a hazardous site?
I don't know.
According to this,
According to this, it is.
They did everything, they pulled all their plans and everything. They replaced single wall tanks with double wall, which made sense.
They were supposed to put double wall tanks in there way back.
Yeah, well, they didn't.
Probably
so.
was, no, they probably, no?
No, they said that part of, it began a long time ago that they were replacing it. I wasn't gonna fight it, that's a smart thing to get rid of single wall tanks.
See, because I can remember when they were gonna do that car wash,
Yeah,
we made them put sealed tanks in, and they were supposed to pump it all the time, because they wanted to do a leaching field. We told them they couldn't.
You gotta get it recycled.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
recycle that.
they're not putting the car wash back in.
They're not.
No.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but they should have, the single walls should have been replaced,
Yeah.
maybe 10 years ago? Seems like it was a while since they were.
Yeah.
Double wall been required for a long time, right?
Yeah, and that's in
20 years, haven't they?
That's in our
I forget
aquifer
anymore,
protection
but It's been a
zone.
long time
Long
since
time.
they were banned.
That's in our aquifer protection zone, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, it's right on the edge.
I don't know
Were they allowed to leave them in if they had monitoring wells? State-
They were monitoring
They're
like
supposed to
crazy
take them out
up there.
anyway.
I think.
They just get dropped in.
Yeah.
And they just never did it.
Not further. I don't know the nature of that, if there was something in the ground when they pulled the tanks, depending on when it was done.
Yeah, I don't know, they've been, I just know that they do have been monitoring it regularly, because I see the guys show up and
I noticed
it's
that
everywhere.
it's not listed there, the one at Elm Square.
Oh, that gas station, that's definitely a hazard site.
That's listed.
No, that's listed,
That's
it's
the-
it's listed as a
yeah.
closed site.
Oh, okay, that's listed as
Yeah,
closed.
there's actually 2 dots there.
Boy, that thing there, you dig a hole around there
That's-
anyway, it's
yeah,
smells
no.
like gasoline.
Oh, it's bad.
I don't know how they're gonna close that one.
Did they treat it? They have a vapor system?
They did, but they shut the whole thing down, so it's just sitting there. We had to dig up the curb box, I left the dirt on the site and told them, I'm not taking anything from here. It reeks so bad.
Out in the street, we did a gate box on the water main, and I was afraid that the soil was gonna catch on fire if somebody was smoking there. That's how much it smelled, it pure gasoline.
It reeks.
It's terrible. Yeah, I left the soil there and covered it up with plastic and told them to get rid of it.
You get it?
Yeah, I'm not disposing of it. Wow, there's a lot of closed sites around town, isn't there?
No matter where you go.
Those are the ones that were reported.
Yeah.
So I would say, when it comes time to move forward with any site, take a closer look at even the closed sites to make sure what their status is as far as cleanup.
The only thing we got near the Sear Street is that that one there, that Citgo.
You know,
I'm surprised
there's a
that one-
few closed services too on, perhaps what road is that? This is Matthew, well, actually on 20, that's on 28.
28.
There's a few of them that have already been closed, and then you get to the Citgo out the end. But those are all in
I thought that Citgo, years and years ago, I thought they closed that one out. I thought that was all cleaned up. That's the only one that's really near our wells. There's some closed out ones.
Could be closed except for monitoring. I don't know what that's it though.
yeah,
Sure.
closed is, they're not even looking at it anymore, but as long as they're still monitoring it, they keep it open.
It's just long-term monitoring.
Oh, I see. Doesn't mean they're cleaning it up, they're just monitoring it.
Yeah,
It could be already cleaned up and it's still monitoring it, right?
yeah, correct. The other change we made was figure 3.6. We got the zoning, the business zone mapped out for the town.
Oh, yeah. Where's that one?
Figure 3.6.
I know, right there.
So originally, we had it just intersecting the parcels, rather than the width per the zoning regs.
And that was all the change there.
Yes. I think that's it for that one.
So have you narrowed it down where you, yeah, with this report, where do you think we should be?
Well, it seems like the Sear Street area, but as we talked about, the first step is probably
Have a talk with
a
DEP?
conversation with DEP and see what their position's gonna be. There's no sense spending money if they can push it someplace else.
Yeah.
And as we've seen, there's only a couple real good aquifer areas in town, and you're in there already, and those are the ones that don't want you to be in anymore, so. It's,
And at least right now, it's tough to show a real need for additional supply other than trying to be redundant with what we have, because the demand study showed that we're pretty good. He said, if we have everything running,
yeah.
which isn't gonna help with DEP either.
I mean, they've approved redundant wells, you don't get an increase in your permit,
Right.
but they've approved redundant wells.
Doesn't matter, because you'd be flicking one on and flicking another off, so you wouldn't be drawing any more water, it's just,
Right.
It's just a different location.
Right.
The benefit is you get to spread out your withdrawals. You have a lot right back here.
yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the interference is, but I'm sure there's some interference.
Well, these out here will recharge. If you're running Northern Avenue way over, these here will actually start recovering. You know, if you've sucked the drawdown down on these and you run it over there for a day or two, these will come back.
Yeah.
So it does.
But that's the benefit, the more you have.
Right.
You can make that decision. The drawdown here is getting tighter.
Well, that's what we used to do, especially around late August when the water table was down. We just, you know, swap them back and forth, make sure there wasn't just running one and running it down so we're going to start sucking air or something, you know. Ran it down too close to the screens. And used to just run another one, go back to that one the next day.
Yeah, alternating.
Then in September, around 1st of September, the end of August, you get a couple good thunderstorms. And the water table charges up pretty good.
And people aren't using as much.
Right.
So it's double benefit. So we can see, and you know, we give you the budget for the test well work. That's in for funding at town meeting, or how are you?
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the articles at town meeting.
So if it funds, first step would be getting that dialogue with DEP and see, lay it out for them.
Before we spend too much money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go have the conversation with them. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting it through town meeting. You know, I'm anticipating no problem with that. So you might as well have the conversation if you're.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you sat with them this year before July, it's still gonna pay for it.
any objection to going to Lakeville?
No,
It's their preference.
yeah, I get along with everybody there.
Why some people don't like going to Lakeville?
No, most everyone will, but sometimes it's nice to have them inside here.
Where else would they go? Boston?
Well, if you have to deal with Dwayne Levangie on water management, he usually wants you to come to Boston. Now, he may or may not be involved in this discussion. Hopefully someone in the region can.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, is the people, when you arrange this meeting, are the people gonna be there that can actually make a decision, or does it just start getting kicked around in there?
I think it's gonna be pushed up the ladder to Dwayne,
Yeah.
because the people in the region are so new, especially their hydrogeologist, I think I mentioned. Did you meet Kermit years
No.
ago? Kermit Studley was their hydrogeologist for 25 years. He just retired last summer. And there's a new guy there, but judging by my one encounter with him, he's not really sure what a gravel pack well is yet, so I think he's still getting up to speed. So there are, Dwayne has a group of people that
Yeah.
work, Beth and a bunch of others in the water management, who could speak to the swimmy issue that we're basically talking about. So I assume it'll be one of them or Dwayne himself involved. I'd rather hear from him than I know he's the lead for water management for the state. So I'll go and talk to him. Set
Alright.
something up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably better off talking to the main man rather than, unless they assign you to somebody else, But
That note, you didn't get your order to complete, did you?
No, I haven't, but I'm putting y'all on notice, everybody around here is getting their orders. We haven't yet.
It's coming.
he said East Bridgewater, Avon.
Hanson,
Order for what, Wayne?
to complete their water renewal permit.
Re-permitting for the withdrawal rights.
So that will open the conversation on mitigation and minimization, whatever else they put in there.
They give you a 20-year permit, so then,
So what, 20 years is up?
actually, it's way over 20 years.
Yes, they've been
20
pushing it
years
off.
was up, and they've been dragging their feet.
2010.
Yeah.
So your permit's not gonna be 20 years, because they're still holding the 2030.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna have basically a 10-year permit by the time it's done, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
It'll be less than 10.
Yeah.
But
So we got a 30-year permit for the last time around.
How much are we permitted for now? I forget.
I didn't look, but I mean, we have,
300 and something million, I
Yeah.
think. It's a lot more than
it's a
what we use.
lot.
So it's a year per year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's annual and it's per day.
Yeah.
You can't exceed your per day either.
What's our per day? We $1.5 million?
1.53. And there's also a per
1.53.
1.53.
there's also a per day on each station.
And does that tie into the, whatever, 60 gallons per capita per person?
Yes, when DCR did their forecast for the future for you, they forecasted, they do their magic with population projections and commercial projections. But for residential, they use population, and they project based on the per capita of 65. And they also do
65 gallons per
per
day.
capita per person. And they also do it based on what you're currently using, which at this time was
We're not
54.
far from it,
I don't know what it was last year, but,
Yeah, I don't remember.
but you can take the higher of the two, so most everyone's under the 65. So
So
they
you take-
request the 65 to give you a little bit extra. So it remains to be seen what's in the order, other than I know they're going to ask you to submit a mitigation plan and a minimization plan. A new conservation plan. You have the conservation bylaw in accordance with the new regs, which is 1 day a week watering, nothing 9 to 5 when you're in the drought season. And there's other steps.
Automatically or only if we're
In the drought.
only in a
Or-
drought?
Well, we already go like to May to September, we're in.
Oh, you're on calendar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you using odd even? Or are you using-
No, it's just daily, no water in between 9 and 5.
So you have it already, so
Yeah.
But we just don't enforce it.
who can? So,
We go broke if we did.
oh,
That's the problem.
it's too much.
We have signs up around town. We have.
Yeah, some of them are hidden behind bushes and stuff
Yeah.
now, but
Every once in a while, I'll get a phone call like during the summer, you know, we're not supposed to, what are the rules? So I say it's 9 to 5, but it's not really. There's just a handful of calls though.
It's actually imposed by DEP. It's not imposed by us.
Right.
We're not the ones who decided because we have a lack of water. They decided that they just don't want us to use it.
Right.
But I don't know how they think we're going to pay our bills.
raise the rates.
They don't really care because they don't get yelled at.
They don't care, they don't want you to
that's
sell a
not
lot,
such-
and if you have to charge more to sell it so that you can pay.
Actually, their thoughts
That's
were
not their
raise the rates
problem.
to stop them from using it. I don't remember hearing that out of them.
Oh, yeah,
They had
they-
a few things.
They love it when you raise rates,
Yeah.
tiered rates, and having a 5th tier irrigation rate, whatever it takes
Yeah.
to stop, but what do you do on the back end when your revenue goes to?
Right. Can't do anything anymore.
Then you keep raising it on the part that the people can't turn down, because that's the only way you can guarantee money. But again, they don't, that's not their problem, that's the, our problem, of how you manage to do that.
You can ask people to conserve water, and nobody does. When you raise the rate, they cut back.
Yeah, it's
It's just
short term though. I know we've done some pretty big rate increases for communities, and the first year, 2 years after, they'll see the
really.
tick down. in
Yeah, they get
usage,
used
and
to it.
Creeps back up. They get used to it, or the lawn's brown and they get tired of it. It does come back, but you will suffer the first year or two. But you probably saw it third year.
Yeah, they didn't, when we did it, even though they all got the letters, all read the letters, they ignored it. Till they got
So they got the first bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's
actually,
what I
it
mean.
was the second one they
You
got.
could talk to you blue on the face. They don't pay attention to you. But as soon as they get the big bill, that's when they change.
I know Brewster was all about conservation, this is a couple of years ago, and he went to the extent, so in their bylaw, they can fine, which most everyone has.
Yeah, it's in a
I think you
regulation.
have to, don't you?
Yes,
To get,
so this person didn't pay, they took him to court, and the judge or magistrate, I would assume it'd be a magistrate, but he threw it out. He told him, don't bring this kind of stuff into my court. Okay, that was the end of his enforcement, because he took it to the end and he got kicked out, so why bother?
well, then once the word gets out, nobody else is ever gonna pay the fine. You're done.
Well, it's tough. But DEP's still gonna keep pushing for you to be the police. And last year, after the drought, we had a lot of meetings with them about the whole drought management plan, which has been revised, the new draft is out. And how DEP should be the one advertising this, because you telling people, and they don't pay any attention to it. When it gets on the TV and it's DEP asking, then at least it's them and not you, and they should be the one
Right.
doing the legwork. If they want that kind of effort on conservation, then they should be stepping up. Which they're supposed to, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, they just don't pay attention. All right, so what's the next?
How about Old Bridgewater Place?
Oh, yeah. How's that coming?
This is our draft review, evaluation report.
Seems smaller than the thing you sent me. It's like, all right, I can't read that.
Oh, I double-sided.
So it's all still there. I'll wait for the Cliff Notes version.
All right, I'll give you the quick notes now. So we had one set of drawings, Walter Homernow sent us a while back, and then when we requested an update, he sent us another set of drawings. He said they were revised, although they all contain the same date as the first set.
Yeah.
We took them, we didn't compare them, we just took them at his word and used the last set for our review. So, looking through the drawings themselves, it shows a 6-inch water main. The minimum size by DEP standards is 8 inch. So we recommended that the water main, if it feeds a hydrant or fire protection system, so we recommended that the water main be upgraded to 8 inch.
Yeah, that's our standard too. We have a minimum.
Yeah.
8 inch.
Item 2, there's no valves at all shown on the drawings. So on the top of page 2, we list recommendations for the valves, which would be a 3-gate cluster at the tie-in, a line valve partway through the development. It's west of the hydrant that's in front of the buildings. And then, again, in the back of that complex, another valve. And then they do have a loop around the buildings. We've suggested a valve where that loop ties into the main coming from the street.
On both sides.
Just feeding the backside, so they can isolate there, isolate in the back or isolate in the front. So you could shut off one building and not the other.
Yeah, that's
Just gives
good.
you a little more control over. Also, 6-inch gate on each fire service, 6-inch gate on each hydrant branch. None of those are shown.
Yeah, you're gonna have a gate on each hydrant, right?
Yeah, it's
They didn't have any gates?
no, not on the plan. The hydrant detail does show a gate valve, but they didn't show them on the drawing. So. The hydrant spacing, they do show 3 hydrants around the buildings. The spacing by the run of the pipe, some of the runs are more than 500 feet, especially coming in from the street. It's about 700 feet to the first hydrant.
We have a standard for 500.
Right. So the coverage between the 3 hydrants for the buildings is, all the buildings are within probably 250 feet of a hydrant. But just the run going in is 700 feet. So I kind of defer to the fire department. He may want a hydrant on the access road coming in if you have a building that's involved.
We have also a standard for every 1,000 feet, there has to be a gate valve.
Yeah, so we added the valves at 1,000 through the loop
Okay.
in the first, for item 2. So there could be another hydrant added on the drive coming in before the main splits around the buildings. They might argue that because they have a lot of coverage from the 3 hydrants around the buildings, but I think I would discuss that with the fire department and also discuss with them access, because some of the radius on the curves on the access road around the buildings is pretty tight. I'm not sure that a ladder truck can make the turn. I didn't investigate that at all. It just seemed pretty tight radius for fire equipment.
The water services are gonna be PEX.
That's what he showed on the drawing, and I don't know if he really
You
meant
don't allow
PEX.
PEX underground.
Nobody uses PEX, so.
Can't use that.
Do you
What
use,
size is the water services?
No, we don't use that.
2 inch? To the buildings?
I thought it was 2 inch somewhere.
2 inch for the buildings and 6 inch for fire, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought I saw. Yeah, each building 2 inch domestic and 6 inch fire.
All the,
So that should be,
all the compression fittings on that on the water service lines have to be Mueller brass.
We just put a general note that the materials have to meet your specs. Use all, we can add Mueller, do you have make and models? On a bid list or something on the list? Or just
What's that?
Make a model.
make and model for the brass, or just list Mueller brass and
Mueller.
make them come to you, they'll get.
No, they could buy their own Mueller.
No, but as far as, instead of Mueller 002, 2005
Oh,
or.
yeah, they do have numbers.
They have a huge set of numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a particular one. Same with, I think we had this conversation before, but you don't have a set of standard specs, right?
And then these saddles that they're gonna use plastic pipe on the water main, or they're gonna use ductile iron steel?
We recommend a class 52 ductile.
Okay. Because if they use plastic, they have to use brass, a certain brass saddle. They can't use anything else. Because as soon as they put a steel saddle in, or with stainless steel straps, the hole in the saddle closes right up within about 2 years. It'll be about that big, and a 1-inch surface will go down to that big in about 3 years.
Double banded.
And those saddles aren't cheap. Another thing, they're a special order and they take a while to come in.
Is there a manufacturer for the saddle? But it's all brass,
Yeah.
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 The straps, everything.
Yeah.
straps are brass too.
Yep. The whole thing is brass. That way there, we don't have any dissimilar metals, and they never close up.
How about the valves? Do you Mueller valves?
Yep.
I'll go ahead and list it. And hydrants?
Mueller Centurion.
Centurion.
You have to specify the 5.5 foot bury and all that type of stuff. The 5-inch opening. And
5 and 4 opening, 5 foot buried.
it's got to have
Depends on
the,
how deep they are too.
He's got the 5 foot buried.
Yeah.
it's got to have the steamer. With 2.5s.
Yeah, so if we tell him the Centurion,
Yeah.
you don't need that.
Yeah.
Then list the 5 and 4 valve. Poly for the service pipe, do you use copper or do you use copper? So I'll change that to copper.
Got to be K.
On the hydrant detail, they show rods. Our standard is to use megalugs on each end. Are you using megalugs or
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we use it.
Thrust block back to virgin earth.
He does have that.
All right.
Yeah, we always thrust block them anyways. Especially the hydrants.
We asked in item 7 for trench detail for the water main. There's one for the green pipe, but none for the water main. They don't show any of the sewer pipes on the drawing. We know it's got a septic system somewhere in the back. So we have a general comment that they have to maintain the separation requirements.
We also want a separation between the electric lines if they're going to bury their electric, their telephone or anything like that, or gas. We want the water away from all those things, at least 5 feet,
They are
preferably on the other side of the road, because everybody's always on top of us. They don't go down as deep as we do.
Big through an electric line when you're trying to dig up a leaky pipe?
I don't want to dig through a sewer line. I'd rather get electrocuted. At least I'm not around to smell it afterwards.
They show the electric duct in the shoulder, at least in the cross section, but I don't see it on the water's in the pavement. I'll have to find it, I'll have to go and see. It is underground though. Same goes for gas.
Yeah, or if the gas completely away from it. We've had situations where we couldn't fit a bucket down on the side of the water main because the gas main is so close to it.
Yep.
And if the electric line crosses over the top of the water line, you want the electric encased in concrete. Because if we ever dig up that water main, we don't want to hit a plastic conduit and get somebody get electrocuted. So they've got to encase at least 5 feet on either side, a 10-foot piece, pour concrete on it.
10 feet on the whole trench, electric trench?
A 10-foot, if there's a conduit, a piece of plastic conduit that goes over the water main.
Oh, okay, just where it crosses the water main, yeah.
Just where it crosses the water main, we have to pour concrete just on that section. So somebody sticks a bucket in, they grab the cement, and they feel something before they.
That electric service may be encased in concrete anyway. Does it show it? The whole thing might be.
I'll tell you where
It
this.
appears to show it, but it's not labeled as concrete.
That's pretty typical of a service that size. They'll run the conduit and put it in concrete anyway the whole way.
You know, what's that? Pine Tree Lane there, off of Copeland. That's direct buried, no conduit. We grabbed a hold of that one there. We almost got killed. They wrapped it right around the backside of the hydrant. We went in to dig out the hydrant. We grabbed a hold of that electric line. We pulled the person's electric line right off the side of the house.
We used to have one Wednesday up in Wellesley. They dig safe did. Wellesley Light Power did the service to the house. Next 2 houses down the street, the direct bury right through her backyard.
Cable, no conduit?
No, just
No conduit, huh?
direct bury. He ripped through one and he pulled the other one.
Does that show concrete on that for the electric?
It appears there's a box, but it's not labeled concrete encasement. I mean, you're only required to encase primaries, and I don't know if they're bringing primaries in or secondaries.
They must be putting primaries on a project that size, wouldn't they?
I would think so.
For transformer.
There's that kind of detail.
Yeah.
Electricity and water just don't go well together.
No. In that house,
The water makes the electricity work better.
they both. Some sewer crossings. Then we looked at the hydraulics. Starts on page 3. So we looked at 2 options for developing the water demands. The proponent gave us the number of bedrooms, so we used 110 gallons per day per bedroom, which is a Title 5 flow. And then 10 gallons per day per seat for the common building. I don't know what the common building is used for, but that's just an estimate. So that yielded 9,990 gallons per day.
Just better than the groundwater discharge permit. They figured it out that way on purpose.
The other way we did was based on population, 2.63 people per unit, and it ended up coming up with 9,231. We use that number since it is the method by which water forecasts are now done using 65 gallons per capita. And with that, so that's average day. We looked at your historical peaking factor for max day to get max day demand, and the peaking factor was 2.58 for average day to max day. And we also looked at peak hour, which we estimated the peak hour peaking factor was 4.45. So we ran the model simulations with the whole system for those various demands. So it would normally be this development for max day would be your system-wide max day. The results of which, the static pressure at Belmont Street, the static pressure within the development is about 70 pounds under max day demand, and 45 psi under peak hour. This is
You
at the
kidding?
development.
It'll drop down to 45 pounds at peak hour. That's a problem.
Goes even lower at the other end.
It still meets DEP standards, and that's a real conservative number. That's peak hour on max day.
45 pounds.
Um,
We'll have complete people complaining all the time. 45.
That's inside, well, actually, no, it's down further, so we had it out at the street, it goes down to 43.
Yeah, so at Belmont Street, static pressure 65. It drops to 43 based on peak hour. And adding the demand from the subdivision would drop it maybe another 5 pounds. So it's not, the area is going to drop anyway based on peak hour just because of the hydraulics and demand. So the
That's going to be a
flow from the
problem.
proposed subdivision,
Drop it another 5.
another 5. And then there was an area. Area along Plain Street, a little bit east, had about 35 psi under peak hour. If you throw in that 5 psi drop, then it drops on down below the standard, which is 35.
Okay, you're saying right now we're just making it, so any additional,
Drop it off 5. Goes
Yeah.
down to 30.
Yeah, you're supposed to maintain
35.
35 under all flow conditions and 20 under fire flow. So, at the very least, you could generate some complaints if people notice a difference. But the area sounds like it stresses anyway, hydraulically under high demand. So it's
Well, you got all those people right now living there that know what they have for pressure, and they build this thing, and all of a sudden their pressure drops by that much. At supper time, they're gonna be complaining. You remember what the complaints used to be up on East Street? That water pressure. Remember they were gonna build a subdivision. And, oh my God, they called it.
Yeah.
It was constant.
were they marginal to begin with or low to begin
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
and then just drag them down.
I think that goes down to a 2-inch main at the end, doesn't it?
No.
No.
4-inch?
No. 8.
I thought it got
I mean,
small up by the line.
6. 6. It goes right
It
in.
goes down to 6?
Yeah, 6. Stays 6 all the way down, and then it goes into. We had them put a 12 in the new subdivision just to give them some storage on that pipe. That helped.
We never heard anything after that subdivision went in, though.
No, because they put a 12-inch pipe in. Remember? We had them put a 12 in, and it just gave them that extra water up there in the subdivision.
Yeah, this is only a 6-inch.
It's a 4-inch on the upper end of east.
4-inch, yeah. I knew it got small.
Yeah, just partway down after the golf course, it switches over.
What's that?
I think it went small and then jumped back up again on East Street. I remember dealing with that up there.
In the back. There it is.
There's
It
been a
changes
section in there
before the railroad tracks.
That goes down to 4 right there, William?
Yeah.
4 tracks.
That's what we discovered when we were out there with George too. So,
And then once it get bigger on the other side of the tracks?
no, I think that at the tracks it jumps up because didn't you have them change it when they did the tracks? I think they swapped it over. Just that in between section.
Yeah, they put a sleeve in there. I know they put a sleeve in. Maybe we tied it in, I don't know. I don't remember. Should be in the drawings.
Yeah, it's not showing up in the drawings, but it says 4-inch all the way through. I know it gets really bad because when we flush hydrants, basically we
Barely comes out, right?
yeah, it barely comes out, but the residents lose their water.
That's on
East
what-
Street.
East Street.
On the Bridgewater line.
It was just that they were building a subdivision at the end of the road, and it was all up on the town line. And the people were all complaining they didn't want another subdivision up there because they already had low water pressure.
Mm.
So I can see this being the same type thing. You know, that people are going to be very upset when if they build it and then all of a sudden their water pressure drops off, then they're going to be down here looking for us to replace the water main. Give them a bigger water main.
The bigger problem for them is the fire protection, which was the last part. So they did a fire flow test, and they ran 580 gallons a minute. Pressure dropped from 70 to 10. So 10 is too low. So if you back calculate what the flow based on the field data is at 20 psi, it comes out to 500 gallons a minute at 20. We ran the model, and the model says 400. So 400 to 500 is available at 20. And the model looks beyond just the hydrant right at the site. It looks for low pressure across the whole model. So the location you're flowing at might not be the lowest, because you could be pulling pressure down on the hill 3 blocks over below 20. So the model looks further than those.
Now, you need more data to see what the fire protection system's gonna be to really tell.
Well, they didn't provide any, so we just went to the NFPA book, you know, the standard, and we're not fire protection people, but
And what do you
Based
base
on
that
the-
on, square footage or something?
the building height. and square
Building height
footage.
and square footage?
Yeah, 2 stories higher than. So based on that, the needed fire flow that we've seen is 1,000 gallons a minute at 20. So they don't have it. So
And what do we have at 2,500?
model says 400.
400? I think they were talking about doing tank, I think they knew they had a problem with it, so.
Yeah, I think it's obvious. This is.
If I remember right, they were talking about doing some sort of
Storage tank.
storage
Yeah, they may
tank,
do a pump
pumps.
storage to pump into the fire
Something,
protection
yeah.
system, is what it sounded like, but then they never came back with anything.
So you need that information before you can really fully comment on it, right?
Well, it's deficient the way it sits, so I guess they'll have to resubmit.
Yeah, they can
Review in the fire
use
department.
that to try to design.
So
the
do we have
system.
to,
That's-
are you gonna let them know that they're deficient, or should,
Yes.
is that something we have to do?
It's in here.
Okay.
But we've estimated at least 1,000.
Do you do like a cover letter with a summary on it so that they know?
Well, this is the letter to them.
Okay.
Well, it's to you, they're CC, because you're
It should say that they need to, it does say that they're gonna have to resubmit more information.
probably does not.
No, they gotta.
Well, we had put
They have to
additional.
solve
Or
the
at this
problem.
point, we can't approve it the way it is or whatever, I mean, and, you know,
They have to figure a way to solve the problem.
Yeah, to your side.
the end result is they don't meet it and we need more, we need to see how they're gonna solve the problem.
Yeah. Do you know if the fire department has weighed in during any of the other
We
zones?
ask them for comment, they don't really.
They used to. They
say a
used to
lot.
years ago.
I think we got something out of them on the fire truck turn radius, but there was no comment on water flow, I know that.
So we can add that they need to resubmit, or submit a fire protection plan
Submit a solution
to
to,
you and the fire department. Plus, what we already referenced, the access issue potentially for the trucks.
I think they know that they already have the situation, so I
Yes, I think it was mentioned before.
Could you pull that to kind of make that a little more prominent, put that up right in front, that they need, you're showing that they have 400 gallons a minute
and they need,
max at 20 PSI based on the modeling. available for fire flow. So instead of the fire one is really the biggest issue along it. So instead of it being buried at the back, have that one right up at the front.
Yep.
You know, primary conclusion is you do not have available fire protection to support the development. And they need to come back with how they're gonna provide that.
Come back with a solution.
Yeah. And if they wanna come back and they wanna pay you to tell them how big a water main we could run into there that would make them not need a pump storage system, if that's something they end up coming up with, that's fine.
What size is the main almost, is it 6?
It's only a 6-inch.
How far back's it go, 6 to Matfield?
All the way
All
to
the
here, to Cedar
It's
Street.
6 all the way down Matfield?
Yep. And we have a 12-inch branch with a gate with a length of pipe headed that way with a cap
Just
on
like
it.
we got put in.
Yep, it's just,
So they can
Wait.
run it from here down to there?
yeah.
They'll be fine.
Matfield Street.
And that feeds right from the wells here, the 12, and it goes right back to the tank, 12, all the way back to the
I mean, you might not have
Spring
to go
Street tanks.
end to end, if you start at the source, and we would typically do it in sections and then check what happens at the site.
But if they're getting into a major size fire pump system with probably below ground storage,
It's gotta be a storage
you're
tank.
talking a huge amount of money.
It's a,
It
Plus
might be cheaper
the maintenance on storage tanks, they gotta keep it from freezing.
it's gotta be heated.
Gotta
Or
be-
in the ground.
Yeah.
Below ground's gonna be heated?
No, not below ground, I'm sorry. I've seen them above
But
ground.
it again
heaters.
depends on how much the volume is too. Might not have,
That
if they
one,
need a lot of volume, they're gonna be above.
Lowe's is heated with electric heater,
It's not
electric heat.
much.
I said, who was the engineer that engineered that? They go, he's down south.
Works for the electric company. On the side.
I looked at one Barnstable jail on the Cape, and they had a booster pump and a fire system originally because they didn't have enough pressure where they were connected to. Before they got built, they got a different connection, and they could do a direct feed. They had pressure, they had 65 pounds at the site. So they built this 250,000 gallon fire storage tank with heaters in it, and it's never had a drop of water in it. And the booster station, that's never run. It's a state project. And now the tank is used for file storage.
Yeah.
I looked inside, because we were gonna take their water supply offline, because we have to paint a tank. And they said, oh, no problem, we have a booster pump. Well, the booster pump didn't run, went to look at it, all the pumps were torn apart and ravaged. Go to look at the fire storage tank, which they would need, never been used, it's full of paper files and stuff. How are you gonna run this system with the way it sits? So that's their problem, I just can't shut off the water.
Most of those companies up on Manley Street, I think we had 3 tanks up there, and every single one of them complained about the cost of maintenance and the annual cost of keeping a tank up. That's why they wanted us to build a tank, because we could build one big enough it wasn't gonna freeze. And they all had to heat them, was it Chadwick?
Nice review, that's
No,
what
not
we're
Chadwick.
looking for. Thanks to be able to do this when we have these big projects coming down. Really tells us how it's gonna affect our system, instead of just
It's
guessing.
good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, there could be some alternatives for hydraulic improvements, maybe.
And anything, anything they spend the money just in their site might take care of it. Any money that goes in the street helps everything else out there too. So if it does extend the pipe far enough down to help their fire flow, everything else connected
Right.
and that gets,
Upgraded.
Oh, it's,
so if that's a better option, if they come back with something and say how much money it is, then there could be a,
Because they might be able to just go back, part way, get back on the other, they don't have to go through the railroad tracks either, because that's already been done. I think that's got an 8 or a 12 in it.
So you're saying just putting like 12 inch
hook
pipe
up,
instead of-
you said we have a 12-inch stub, start the 12 inch and you just run it down as
That's
far
up-
as you
that's up
need
here
to.
though, isn't it?
Hmm?
12 inch stubs right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, up here on the top of the street.
I can't imagine they're gonna run a new main from here all the way to
Well,
there.
you don't necessarily have to go all the way though, you
Just
go
do
as far
part,
as,
it'd be enough.
and it'll support the pressure.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't change Belmont, they just changed some on Matfield.
Yeah, well, you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Do it
yeah.
in segments and see what you get. You know, so you
But-
get the-
but- What I would say is that the railroad tracks would be a problem, but that's very costly to get under that railroad crossing. That's already been done, that's been upgraded, so.
That's already 12 inch.
I think it's 12. Can you see it on the print there, what they put in? They did it when they did the tracks. We asked them to do it, because we knew we'd never be able to afford to do it after the train started running.
Is that 8 inch under the tracks?
8, okay, it was upgraded to an 8.
Better than 6.
Yep.
So, we'll redraft this, or use your suggestion, move the wall, get the evaluation to the front.
Yeah, because the others are more, okay, you need to do this, all the details on the plans, but the big conclusion is, you know, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And this is what it is.
All right.
That was the meeting.
Is it okay to finalize this and send it out?
Yeah, I have no problem with it. What do you
Is that
think?
what the review?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say just, highlight the end result, that's all.
And move that, like Art said, move that fire protection deficiency up to the front of the letter.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring it back here, just do it.
Will do.
Now, they put the money in that, right?
They paid already, so.
They paid you direct, or does it come to us first?
No.
No.
It all goes direct to you.
Yeah.
It went right direct.
Because what happens is if we have to pay them, they pay us, we can't touch that money for a year. It gets paid in and we can't spend it. We can't give it to you, we have to give you some of our other money. And then it falls out of surplus and then we have to move it. It's a pain in the neck.
There is a process, and we do a lot of work for towns in the same venue. I don't know what the account's called, but there is some account treasurer can set up, and the money goes in from the outside and it gets paid out. It doesn't circulate within the general fund. What it is, I'm not sure. That's can be done easily.
What's something like this?
Exactly this, because we do a lot of this, whether it's planning board reviews or the water system. But it worked. He sent him the invoice, he paid. Told him we would hold the report till it was paid, but he paid it last week.
There you go.
What else?
Placement well or altitude valves?
Altitude valve.
So we sent Wayne an updated budget after the last meeting,
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent the email out, what,
Yeah.
600 something?
Yeah,
620.
that sounds familiar.
And replacement wells, you have the budget for that
Yes,
a
that's,
couple meetings ago.
yeah, that's all set. You should be spending on that already. Well, moving along.
Oh, well, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the driller's cost
yeah,
to come in. But that one's funded, yeah.
yeah.
Sear Street, we got a request into DEP today, unfortunately, but for the final inspection, so we will track them down, get the final inspection, and get that online. I think we still have some SCADA stuff to clear up with Mike Leary, but nothing operationally.
Yeah, I want to start getting lost at midnight.
That should be.
That's been going on forever trying to get that thing online.
Yeah, that,
Final inspection.
well, the alarms work, it's just
Too well?
We gotta
too well.
get rid of them. Have you told him about that one?
Yeah, I did, but he never responded back. Probably more work than he wants.
Not my favorite guy, really. I'll chase him down, because I know there was some other stuff on the screens and stuff he still wanted.
Yeah, I sent back to Megan. Yeah, I sent it back like the cover of what I'd prefer to see on the front screen. He really doesn't like to do the graphics, and he'll tell you he's not good at it. Well, they should have somebody in his firm that's really good at it. I know it's not that hard, because I've seen it before. But you don't train anybody to do it.
I will keep after him. I'll let you know about DEP.
Yeah.
Follow up with him this week. See if we can set a date. Get it turned on. The end of my list.
I think that's the end of your list.
Yeah.
River crossing.
No, that's
No,
not
that's
it.
it.
That's him.
That's where I stepped back in.
You haven't got anything else, right?
That's all I can dream up today.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Thank you.
Back again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, hopefully, the station down back will be running.
Retreats. Is it better, or maybe I
That would
won't?
be nice.
Yeah, depending, you'll come back depending on what's going on out back.
Public flogging, but I'll keep after it and we'll get around. Good?
Yep.
Well, good.
Excellent.
Good seeing you, and thank you very much for coming in. Take whatever you want. Thanks.
Fine, if you want more choices, go in the other room. Fill it with shopping bag, will you?
Get it out of yours.
Get it out of there.
It's my favorite.
She's gonna kill our guys.
Don't you know?
Diabetes.
So it wasn't here, I would leave it.
Yeah, go ahead, fill it up.
Your second?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
can leave
No,
it.
fill it with the
Oh, yeah,
candy.
fill it with the candy. There's a whole bucket in there. Yeah, just leave it there, I'll get it.
Christine, my office brings it into it. It's like,
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
and it wasn't there, I wouldn't need it.
I know.
Wayne, what do you got for West Street?
So,
River crossing.
insulation began to fall off of that. The hangers are a little rusty, the bridge needs a little work too. I've notified the DPW that they need to do something about it. And then, what, 20? We had a leak. Union's trucks drove by it for almost a week and never said a word. Somebody finally told us it was leaking. By then it had already blown out.
It's not the valve on the top that we
It's a
have.
bell. They messed up the bell when they put it together. So it's a pressed bell, so it's a bell repair clamp. We're gonna replace it. I have the kit.
Is that an expansion valve?
No, it's a bell. It's a bell joint. They must have messed up the gasket when they
A
pressed it
gasketed
in.
bell?
Yep.
Oh, it's got a bell repair one already,
Yeah.
and that gave up.
Yep.
Oh, it's got a bell repair already?
Yeah.
Put another bill.
So we're gonna put another one on it, but our gate, to the day we went out to repair it, the gate turned and decided to drive on the thing. We couldn't get the thing isolated.
There's a valve on either
So-
side of that.
Yeah, we couldn't get one side to shut down. So we're gonna go
Really?
back at it. We repaired the gate operator and we'll be going back at it. It's not leaking anymore. We fixed it that very day.
That, there is a corp on the top of that?
Yeah, down at the other end. It's not insulated either. So
But no, it never was. Had a box on
right, there's a mouse in there now.
it? And then, well,
It keeps it warm.
Yeah,
the reason why that's there is we have to take the air out of that line. Because if you don't take the air out, you
Yeah.
won't get a good fire flow through that
Yeah.
main. It won't. If that pipe collects air,
yeah.
you won't.
Right.
You won't be able to drag the water
Well,
through
there's
that
no air in
pipe.
it right now, I can tell you that much.
Huh?
There's no air in it right now because that was a major leak.
Okay.
We saw our production spike.
About a
Oh,
week
really?
ago.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
not as
How
big
much-
as the Manning Street one.
no, it was as big as it.
It
How,
was?
how much
Oh,
a
yeah.
day would you say?
It went right up to about like 800 gallons. It spiked us. Enough
You
to
think
see.
that was 800 gallons a day?
Yeah, it was because it was pushing the gasket out. It was working its way around.
Was
So
that
it was
worse?
getting worse, yeah. So we've stripped all the insulation off it. I have a call into an insulator. I'm trying to get them to call me back so we can get it re-insulated. But they've got to redo a lot of the supports. The bands are all rotted off. The bridge itself has some deficiencies, like I said, but I've notified the DPW here that they may wanna look at that.
They don't want them?
No, I told them they may wanna, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's not my problem. This side's better than the other side, at least.
The concrete falling.
Yeah, that's why, but I looked at all of our supports, they're all tagged in, they're all in firm thing. It's just the bands that go over the top of it to our supports are all rotted off.
Yeah, but that's just the insulation.
Well, no, the bands that,
Well, you'll tell them
The rods that hold it down?
yeah, well, no, the rods are all good. Those are all good. It's the bands, these bands that go up and around the pipe, those are gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a half saddle? or something?
Yeah, so they've rusted out, so I'm gonna ask the insulator if they do it or if they know somebody. If not, I can always get Hard Engineering to come up and do something.
Who will do it?
Well, we used Hard Engineering when I did the tank work. They
Who is
did the
it?
piping.
Hard
Hard Engineering out of Rhode Island.
Can't you guys do
I was
that?
gonna say, it's something we could put on, isn't it?
I'm not sure that that's something, I'll look at it, but I'm not sure that's a standard thing, because those are custom-made brackets. They're L brackets that sit on the concrete and then down the side of the bridge. They're tagged into the bridge, and then the bracket itself was welded to the angle bracket.
So it's not a bolted
It's
connection
not a
or something?
bolt-on thing, no. So they're basically rotted off right where it's welded in and on either side. So we saved some money. We stripped all that insulation off and removed it.
Did you say you had insulation supply?
I called Anchor Insulation. They haven't called me. Well, I sent them an email, but I'll call them tomorrow and start forcing them to respond.
We use insulating piping systems out of Attleboro. I can send you a contact, Sean Colty.
All right,
They can supply any kind of jacket you want.
all right. Yeah, I'll give them a call. The other guys haven't yet, but I was doing other things today. And we're in warm weather, so
Yeah.
I'm not.
Now, are you saying that the brackets are all rotted off,
These
that
bands.
hold the pipe up on the side of the bridge?
No,
To hold them
let me
down.
just see if I can get it bigger again from the beginning there. See this band right here that goes around it, down to this L bracket, that's what's rotted. It's rotted off where it was welded to the bracket. So they're basically, in some cases, the band is just sitting there. The pipe's not gonna go anywhere anyways, but they're there for a reason. So before we re-insulate the pipe, fix the restraints. These rods are all good. They're in really good condition. So I'm not gonna touch them.
But I was just gonna say, if you need to replace the supports on the bridge, why don't we get some steel welded up and send it out and have it galvanized, and then anchor it right to the bridge and,
The bridge is
we
not,
do that
I don't
ourselves.
think I'd wanna touch the bridge, but the L bracket here that goes in and then it goes down along the face of the bridge, they're intact.
They're solid?
And they're solid.
They're solid, okay.
Yeah. There's only like one
I
spot.
thought you were saying those were right.
No, there's a spot in the middle where the bridge is a little deficient, on this side. And then down at the bottom at the water level, it's deficient, but that's not my issue. I got enough problems, I don't need more ones.
I'm sure we'll let you rebuild the bridge, hold up your water.
Yeah. They'll blame
We
my,
made him put that above the river instead of in the river. He was afraid of having a water leak again.
that takes a lot of water flow there. It's always flowing year round.
At least we figured we could see it that way, you know.
Yeah, and then they did, they just kept driving by it.
That's,
This system didn't work.
No.
I used to go out there a couple times a year and open that valve. Just put a wrench on it, open it up, blow out some water.
Well, the mouse said you hadn't been there in a while.
Wasn't he supposed to be leaving the air off one?
Yeah,
That's why they make them automatic air release valves,
Yeah.
so people don't forget to go out and let the air
Yeah.
out. They don't work too well up above ground, I
It's
suppose.
in the open.
They tend to freeze.
Most of them we use the coat and cover it, but
yeah.
depends on somebody going back once every 20 years to let the air out.
Well, when somebody you start getting the call, gee, the pressures are way down out here, what's going on? And somebody says, what do you got?
I sent you that contact.
Alright, oh, that's what I just did. Alright,
Should be able to help you out.
I figured it was my kids asking when supper is.
Well, I'll send that one next.
So
Take the
you,
box, fill it with candy, bring it home.
Yeah,
so you're just gonna take care of that?
yeah, I'm gonna try to deal with that right away before the end of the budget year.
Next on the agenda is future staffing needs.
Yep. Alright, yeah, no, I'll give them a call tomorrow.
Thanks, Patrick.
Good night, thank you.
Alright, so you have to determine what kind of person we want to hire. I don't really need another shoveler. I need somebody to help me I'm getting smothered in rules and regulations. Right now we should have an OSHA hazard assessment for each thing that we do in the station to determine its risk, the risk analysis. We don't have that, so hopefully nobody gets hurt. There's a risk and resiliency management of water systems. There's a security practice for operations management. There's the emergency preparedness practices. There's asset management. And there's quite a few others that are coming up with timelines in the next 3 years that we're supposed to have done. So I need somebody that I can, if we hire somebody that can do that and the chemistry, like at the Manley Street, and show the guys. I can't teach them what I need to teach them because I'm getting stumped. When I have to do this stuff, then all I can do is race out, fix what I gotta fix. I don't have time to show them and then come back here and do this crap. Or it's not crap, but it's relevant
It
stuff.
needs to
But
be
it's
done.
I can't do both things. I need to be out there to show them what I need to show. So I need somebody that can sit in here but can go out there also. But I need somebody I can trust, not somebody who's going to start asking me questions and I'm going to be doing it myself.
So why don't we look for somebody that is got experience in running the plants?
So you want somebody who has chemistry. Well, it's not, the plant is fine
Because
as much, but,
years ago I ran into the same problem, and that's why we hired you.
right.
We had a lot of shovelers, and we had a lot of people who could dig holes. We had a lot of people who could run backhoes, but we didn't have anybody that could help. I was running all the iron removal plant, doing everything that you're doing.
Right.
And so then we looked for somebody that could run the plant, and Wayne kind of filled the bill. So I put him on running the plant up there. And Wayne did a pretty good job of it. The only problem is now, if he's taken over being superintendent, now he's back in the same predicament that I was in. And we need to, I think that we need to find somebody that can take especially if we're going to develop another well, it's got another iron removal plant. Now you're really going to need somebody, because you're not going to be able to take care of two of them. That's going to be a full-time job for one guy.
That's
Try to
right.
keep two
When
of
you
them.
have two of them, that becomes a full-time position for somebody. It's not-
Right.
You can't be in it for an hour and then not in it till the next day, 23 hours later. It
No.
requires a little more than that.
Right, you got to be there every day.
We're doing a lot of maintenance in Manley Street, but just to keep it going, because things just wear out, and we catch it. The guys are catching on. I try to show them as much as I can, but can't be all over the place. I mean, when we lost Obi, we lost a really good machine operator, and Kenny is kind of caught up. He's got really good at it. And behind him we have Andy, and then we have Randy. Shovelers, well, we have 3 good ones. We're working on the new guy.
But like you said, that doesn't help you for getting.
Right, it doesn't help me for the thing. I mean, we currently employ somebody part-time who has worked at the DEP, who actually works at the Board of Health, who does lead and copper right now. But eventually her contract will end when the town hires a GIS person full-time. So if it depends upon which way you want me to advertise the job, and then we'll see who we get back. It's all up to, the advertisement could be kept generic. It's what's in the job description that weeds out the people. Because other than that, you just get inundated with.
You're gonna have to have somebody that's gonna be licensed.
Right, eventually they'll have to get licenses, and and licenses are hard. The towns are finding it really hard now. They're hiring people without licenses, and nobody's making it through the licensing, because they're making it so much harder now. It's really, you can't, the people think you're gonna just take the licensing course and pass the test. It's not. They can only teach you so much. You have to open up those books that they give you that nobody wants to read, because it's really boring. But I did it, and that's how I did it. And I did it before they actually had courses that taught you. They instituted the licensing and didn't have any classes to teach anybody. Well, if you read the books, took a few failures in the test, but then you realize what you're looking for. It's not. That's why the job, like Easton has a current position, $30 an hour to start. That's just a start. We don't even compare to that.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Other towns are right in the same area, ballpark.
You put in your priorities for which things you want to have done in that job description.
Yeah.
License preferred or ability to get licensed within
I'll write up something
reasonable
and
time frame.
I'll let you see it, and then you either like it or you don't, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Okay with you, Tom?
Yeah, as long as whatever the person ends up being, it's something that really does help you
It
for
has to
all of
help
that stuff.
all right.
So it can help you
Right,
in
because
here
I don't-
and with the
Right now, the billing is working really good. That's working, so I don't want to task Carrie anywhere else. She should stay on billing that way. We don't run into any problems. I mean, we issue the bills. We don't get too many phone calls anymore. Not like in the old days when the phone would ring off the hook for like 2 months straight. So that's all working, and we transitioned to the Badger, but it's a unique system. It's a learning curve for us now, finding everything that we used to just go one place, and it's all a little different. We had a problem sending out the meter. We went to load it, and it wouldn't load. Well, there was a little toggle switch underneath the rubber cover on the back that somebody had rubbed off into the off position. So
You didn't know it was there.
no, so a day of looking, we finally found it.
All right, so you're gonna have that for us for next meeting?
I'll have that for you for next meeting.
Sounds good.
Or if there should be some sunny days, I'd like to take a few days off.
You're going to need them just to get the one mode
Yeah.
the way it's going.
Rotary Farm. Carrie, did you?
I give everybody a
Print it out.
Yeah.
Where's that? Did you talk to,
right there, right on the front.
David Gagos?
You talked to Billy Wayne?
I did talk to Billy. He came
All right.
to me. And I pointedly asked him a couple of times, and I didn't get a direct answer. He said the value is about $2,000 a year to him. That's the most I got out of him.
So that's roughly what the
Yeah.
the net worth on the
Right.
hay.
He says it cost him about $1,800 in his time and efforts to get the $2,000. But he wouldn't tell me how many bales he got out of it or anything.
No, but at least we got a basis. That's low enough that
Right.
we don't have to.
I mean, any farmer who looks at it, if that's what you do, you know what you're going to get out of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I looked at the USDA, they estimate for side
Well,
fields.
there's all kinds of
Right.
ranges and.
Right.
And it's not top quality hay, they're not
No.
putting anything back
Right.
into it. They just keep
So,
taking it out.
anybody who's been doing it, they got to look at it, see how many acres, and they got to know what they're going to get out of it.
I don't know why anybody pay anything for it.
The problem won't.
Right.
If they do it, it'll be just minimal, and
Did you look into how much the newspaper advertisement?
that's going to cost me more than
That's where I was going with it, because if it's only $2,000, we don't need to bid formally.
We don't have to do a.
we can
don't have to
send-
do a newspaper ad, do we?
We don't have to go out to bid. If
One
it's that much,
advertisement
we
should be
can,
sufficient.
we
Maybe
call.
Andy said it should be posted in the newspaper with a copy posted on the town clerk's bulletin board and on the town's website.
If you do a public bid, but if it's under 10 grand, you don't have to do a public
We can
bid.
do best practice, can't we? That's
All we could take the same thing pretty much that you've written up as far as what the work is, give them a time to come in with a proposal and just send it to whoever. We could send it to, was it, whose farms in town? Coit, Kamala's, Anderson, Azak.
There's probably about 6.
And we could just send it directly to them, say, anybody, if you're interested, please give us a proposal by a certain date.
And you can put it on the town website.
And that way it stays in with the town farmers. Because if you do it to a public bid, it's open to it's not that it's worth a lot, but if we're gonna get it mowed, then we ought to, I think, at least give the benefit of it to the guys in town that are farming as opposed to somebody else.
I added in there that hay has to be removed by September
Yeah.
30th, so that they're not leaving there.
Do we want to put something in there about coordinating with the school for a timing for when they want the track?
No, let's
Or just leave it up to them to deal with?
just leave it up to, I mean, basically, if you're trying to get somebody to do it for us for nothing, you're not, they come here and run too, so if they can come here and run, that's fine. We've never stopped by Mass, but
Right.
actually, if they need us, we'll clear stuff out of the way for them.
Okay.
If they use us as like an obstacle course, but if it doesn't stop raining, you can't go anywhere off-road right now.
Yeah, but just the first part of it, up to where it says West Bridgewater is fine, just say please give, if interested, provide a proposal by 5:05 PM on Monday, May 20. It doesn't have to be done as a bid that way. We can give it to whoever either offers the most or decides to charge us the least. But, we don't, that way we don't have to advertise, we don't get that expense, we have control. Like I said, as long as we know who the farmers are in the town,
Right.
I'd just rather see it go like that.
Yeah, I'd rather in town. It's an in-town thing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't technically
Oklahoma
don't
City,
need to
who
do
you
it
think
anyway.
that is?
Right.
Spam.
Yep.
And then if it's only a couple of $1,000s, we could probably do it for a couple of years if we want to extend it, because the value, when they do that, whether you have to bid or not, if you do it for 3 years, it's the value for 3 years, it's not the annual value. But if he said it's around $2,000 worth of hay.
Well, you can extend, if it's agreed between the parties, you can extend a contract up to 3 years.
Yeah, you gotta be careful what your total value is though, because if you do that and the total value goes up over what you should have bid for in the first place, then you're technically in violation of the bid.
If it's
Bid
what?
laws. No, it's like, if something was worth $5,000 a
Yeah.
year, and you have to stay under 10 grand for the way that
Oh,
you're
I
doing it, you can't extend it 3 years, because now it's
Right.
15 grand. So you should have gone to the next level of procurement. Is the
Oh,
way
really?
Yeah, I agree.
Then they add them all together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can do it for like, if you know about what it is, you set the.
I don't think that's
time
gonna be a
period.
problem.
I don't think it is.
So we had talked about liability insurance, are we concerned about that still or not?
Well, just keep it to the farmers in town the way they work. That's another thing, we don't have to start listing in a lot of other requirements. When I asked
So
Gagny.
we're not gonna make that a requirement?
No,
Yeah.
when I asked Gagny about that over at Town Hall, he had said with a lot of stuff like this, it's just, what ends up happening is it all ends up, they're gonna go after us, the town, it ends up going to all the different insurance companies anyway. It's
And-
small stuff like this, it's not.
Somebody brought that up one other time about like the water tank or something, and they said, well, if somebody got hurt, like in the town park, the town has a blanket policy, no matter where they are on town property. If
Yeah.
somebody fell in the river and got hurt, the town's probably gonna get sued for something.
I'm more concerned with a
It's
fuel
insured.
release at a water,
At a well site,
At a
potential
well
well
site.
site.
I'm more concerned with a fuel release at a well site.
don't
Well,
think
we haven't done anything about that since we've owned the farm. I
No.
would imagine, we just talked to them about,
We've never put it out to bid though, it's always.
well, no, but we're not,
So it's only gonna be the same type of tractors that are gonna be in there. Those tractors are all small. They don't use any big, heavy equipment or anything.
And
They don't
those
hold that
require
much fuel.
off-site fuel.
yeah, try to say something like, just talk, whoever we give it to, tell them, look, this, you can't do certain
Those
things.
operations are tiny and they're in and out of there. They'll probably be in that field 1 or 2 days, first cutting, 1 or 2 days, second cutting. I don't really think they'll get a third cutting.
I doubt it.
No way.
Actually, we're lucky to get a second, it's
You're
gonna be
lucky to
so
get two
long,
cuts.
late this year, by the time we're gonna be able to cut, everything's so wet.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking in June, if they do get some dry weather, that grass is growing with all this rain.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody got to get in there and get it down because it's going to be lush. But it's going to be dry to make the hay. So, does anybody have anything they want to add to this thing here?
No, I said just,
Just have Kerry run an ad?
honestly, don't run an ad, we'll send them directly to the farmers in town.
Okay.
So just, I don't know if there's a list, the town hall would have a list.
So don't hang it at the town hall either?
Yeah, oh yeah, hang it up at town hall.
Hang it up at town, well,
But
but
it has to be hung up at town hall.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the requirements.
actually, it's not.
You
If
know,
we check, before you do it, check with Gagny.
I
If-
did, I emailed
No,
them.
but that email is about bidding. We're not bidding. If you're doing a public bid, it's one thing. If you're just doing a procurement, that you're asking, we're basically inviting specific people
ask her
to
for
provide a proposal.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, double check with them, but I know all kinds of stuff that they're procuring through building needs and such. If it's underneath that public bid, you don't advertise it. You go to whoever you want to deal with. As long as you're not just, sending a letter to one person, you just need to make sure it goes to each of the people.
And we got the lot. I had figured out on the GIS map there, that was about 6.5 acres, 6.6 acres.
That's the part that they actually been cutting
Yeah,
out of the whole lot.
yeah. I just figured out there's 20 acre piece, but I figured that it was 6.6 acres.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
There isn't. And that's brought out to the max. They're not gonna, it's gonna be, if anything, it's gonna be a little bit less, but that's the max they can
One
use.
is close to what?
It's close. That'd be close. No fertilizer could be used.
Yeah.
So, do you have any problem with that, Curry?
No, I'm emailing you right now.
So how does payment work? Will they pay ahead of time or?
Yeah, they pay on June 1st
Yeah,
each
you got
year,
it right there.
so it'll be before they start cutting. They won't-
Now, what if everybody comes in and says they'll do it for free, but they won't pay us? Well, no, but the thing is, doing it this way, we can work through and just pick one. That is under best practices, as long as people are,
For nothing, you might as well let the guy
If
who's
they're
been
the
doing
same.
it for 20 years.
yeah, or you can put a rotation in and say, fine, if you're interested, we'll rotate it every year. But that's probably not gonna, I don't think we're gonna get all that much interest, to be honest with you. If we get two of them come back. Actually, what if when I was, yeah, he might even still be there.
Yeah, I just emailed them.
All right.
Because as long as it's under the required bid, I don't think you have to publicly advertise. And the problem is if you do advertise and somebody else saw it in town hall, that could open up a whole different mess.
Who were you emailing, Gagnon?
Yeah,
Is he in?
I don't know, I just emailed them.
Oh. All right. Well, let's see if we can get it done because somebody's gonna have to start cutting it. If the sun comes out in June, somebody's probably gonna wanna get out there and make some hay.
So what's the sun?
Huh?
What's the sun? It's up to me, you'll have to have
Do you have anything else?
I think that's,
Presenter at town meeting.
Somebody has to, they're looking for somebody to, do the presentation of the
Read the article.
budget, the articles.
Just the two of them.
We ain't gonna do it.
All right.
Okay,
and
we
I think it's good if you do, and we can be right there instead of sitting way back like I did at the
Yeah,
end.
don't.
Yeah. All right.
Well, no, I honestly didn't think there was gonna be an issue with it, and that's why I didn't wanna go up when Jack was giving me a hard time, 'cause I didn't wanna make it look like we didn't trust you.
No,
But
I,
he just,
I didn't mind at all. I found it fun actually.
well, you did a good, I mean, we actually had a few people come up afterwards and say that, so.
Well, it's what I'm hired to do. I
Yeah.
hope I know what's going on. So you're gonna continue forward with the altitude valves? That's
I
a lot
was-
of money.
I wanted to suggest this. Why don't we have Patrick design them, and then why don't we see if our own guys can we hire a company to come in and do live taps and stuff where they need to be.
I was actually, because Wade had sent that email out, how long roughly would it be before we need to do work on those two tanks that we might be taking them out of service? 15
No,
years?
it's not
Is
until
that
they're
another-
painted again, yeah.
That'll be about 15?
Yeah, hopefully
Because that, a
won't.
bunch of the cost of that is because of doing it live, and it'd actually be, if we could take those down and just repipe everything while they were down, it would be a lot less money.
I mean, I can ask Coldly what the cost is for an insertion
Yeah.
tape, and then you'll know right off of that.
Because, I mean, that's 600, that's just an awful lot of money.
What was
Yeah,
that? What was the price again?
It's
620.
620,000.
Too
Yeah.
much.
Way too much.
It's for, I mean, we're getting along without it. The system has been working this way for a long time. Yeah, it'd be nice, but we could start doing some of that stuff on our own if we.
Well, there's ways you could run that, redo the yard pipe, and you could use one altitude
Right.
valve to feed both of those tanks. You don't really need a separate one. You could pipe out of the outlet side.
Because the
into
little one's
each.
filling too fast.
But it won't, if you run, the little one's got a line going to it, the big one's got a line going
If
to
he
it.
designed
Right
it,
off two sides. If you loop that in, so there's one feed, and you feed one end off the altitude valve into both tanks, they're not gonna do that, because they're gonna have the same pressure. It'll be. with
Right,
the
it'll
six-
work it. It'll just the big tank won't be as full as the little tank.
On downstream side of that altitude valve, they're gonna be the same size. Right now, you have nothing controlling the pressure, so the little tank fills faster.
Right, a lot
Once,
faster.
once that valve is set and the pipings go, you have the
Yeah.
separate line to each one, those will stay right close
So I
together.
can stop filling the small one and keep filling the big one, so it's to the right.
If the small one starts to get ahead of it, it's just gonna back,
It will, because all right.
because the
So it'll
altitude,
snap shut, it'll feed itself.
but no, the altitude valve will just be holding, so it'll go back. And you'll still get it all full, but I mean, that's 620 between both.
That's
The live stuff and that's the two buildings
Right.
he's got on there. It's just way too much out there to spend for that. Did you ever
So-
figure out how many gallons short we are in Walnut?
No, but it's a. Well,
100,000?
look at it, it's 98, so it goes to 98 feet. It's usually running right around 98 feet.
And well, it's 6 feet low.
Yeah, it's about 6 feet from the top.
We should get that back, but I mean, it's $600,000. It's a lot of money per gallon
Right.
going into that. If there's a way we can.
so if Patrick designed it, why couldn't we look at these guys
Oh, we could.
doing it, because it's all the contractor's gonna do, they're not gonna do the live taps and stuff, they're gonna hire a tapping company to come in and tap them. They're gonna run the water line, somebody else is gonna, they're gonna set up the foundation for the prefab building. Somebody else gonna bring the building in and set it up,
Basically, you're just gonna copy what occurs on Walnut Street, the piping right inside of Walnut Street.
Yeah, it's simple, stupid, it's not rocket science.
No.
So,
A lot going on.
huh?
He's got a lot going on and not that much space.
No, I know, but we don't have to do it this summer.
Yeah, that's
we
why
can-
you get it planned out first.
Because if he prices out, if he did a blueprint on it, and he got a list of all the materials and what the building's gonna cost and everything, and we could raise the money to buy the materials and our own crew put it together, we'd save a lot of money. That's the way I put all these erosion control buildings together. Millbrook did the same number of buildings, they spent $1 million, we spent $100,000 a piece. And we did,
Yeah, it's just a matter of
We did
the piping needs to get
400,000.
in place before you call for a building to come up.
Yeah.
we did $400,000, they did $1 million, but they were, we just had a contractor come in and put the shell up, and then we piped the whole thing, everything in the building we put in.
It'll definitely save a ton of money
Yeah.
going that way, so. You wanna try, we're gonna have Patrick do it, wanna have him do it 2 foot both, to set it up for just the one building, even if there's 2, but we have to build separate valves in it the way, because I don't think you can change the yard piping to feed it out of one without shutting those tanks off.
Right, the tank has to go off for you to tie the valves are far enough out. Well, as long as you're outside of the valve. The only one that's close is, you just have to shut off one side. I'd have to look at it first.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can give you an idea.
No, but that'd make a night, as long as you guys, you guys can come up with a time going out into the future to work on it.
That's nothing we have to do right now, that's.
No,
It's something, we have enough stuff on our plate, but that's something we can start thinking about. Because that's a problem that's been here for a while. It's gonna be with us for a while, so let's see if we can come up with a cheaper way of fixing it, because we certainly can't afford $600,000 with everything else we got going on. Anybody got anything else, Tom?
Nope.
All right.
If we're gonna do that, so we're not gonna put that in at all into the budget, but do we need to
No.
put something in for, like a design fee for Patrick, or do we have that money covered somewhere else?
No, we won't have that money covered somewhere else.
So why don't you ask Patrick, give him a call tomorrow, and just ask him what kind of money would it be just to design it?
And, and clear that it's designed for you guys to work off of, not a whole bid package.
Yeah.
Right, not a whole
Because the
big,
bid, because
right,
putting the bid
exactly.
package together starts running into a good chunk of extra money.
He designs it and we, our crew builds it.
Yeah.
Is it, maybe we can just put that money in. Do we have an article for that already?
You have an article so we can reduce it at town meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That'd be good. And then whether they're gonna ask why there was such a big drop in we could just tell them that the cost of doing it is just outrageous, and we figured on a more cost efficient way of doing it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have an engineer design it, we're gonna try to have our own crews put it together. Because that will definitely be a question.
Yeah, but it's always better to have it go down than go up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay,
Next
so
meeting,
next meeting,
May 20th. May 20th.
anything else, Kerry, you have?
I do not.
Okay. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We adjourned at